What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. There aren't too many artists that I get super excited for. John Legend is one of them. Considering what 2013's Love in the Future meant for my life at the time, I was inclined to believe that his fifth album, his latest one titled Darkness and Light, would have that same effect on me. I went into this album hoping that it would provide me with some inspiration, some motivation, and overall just be relatable. That's something that Love in the Future did well, was it felt like it related exactly to what I was going through in my life with dating and love and breakups and all of that. All of that was captured in the last album. Now I have some initial thoughts on the album. First off, this is much shorter than Love in the Future. 20 tracks was on Love in the Future if you count the deluxe edition. This one has 12. 15 if you go to Target and get their exclusive edition, which has 3 bonus songs. With this album, Darkness and Light, John Legend doesn't take any risk at all. Not one. And I don't say that in a bad way. I say that to let longtime fans know you have nothing to worry about. There's nothing on this album that sounds out of place, that sounds like John Legend wouldn't do it himself. Minus one song. I'll get to that later. But this album sounds just like what you'd expect out of John Legend. And there's the age-old saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So John has this formula down. Another observation I had was looking at the list of producers on this album. He scaled back a lot from the last one. Blake Mills, who is multi-talented. He's worked with Alabama Shakes, Kid Rock, Pink, and a ton of other artists. He does the bulk of the production on Darkness and Light. Compared to his last album, you had Hit Boy, Kanye, The Runners, 88 Keys, Q-Tip, and a bunch of other high-profile names. I don't think that this really affects the album per se. It was more of just an observation I had. Now I want to get into some of my favorite songs. In no particular order. These are just some of the ones that stood out to me. And I'm going to start it off with Love Me Now. In J. Cole's Eyes documentary, which is on Tidal now, it's the one that just came out, there's a scene where J. Cole and his manager are in a car and they're discussing releasing a single off the album. And one of the things that I remember most about that scene and why it fits into what I'm about to talk about is his manager said, whatever the first song is, it has the power to have a fan become attached to it. And that is exactly what happened with Love Me Now. It was the first song released, and it really upped the anticipation for the album. I've played this song countless times since it came out. I know the lyrics to it. I don't know who's gonna kiss you when I'm gone, so I'm gonna love you now. Those are the type of lyrics that I feel I can relate to. The type of lyrics that either fit to my situation currently or trigger something from the past. Some kind of a memory that fits into what John is saying on Love Me Now. Not to mention the melody is just ridiculously catchy. I think in the coming months this song has to be a hit. I don't know where it's at currently on the Billboard charts or where it's at with radio, but John Legend albums are slow burn. All of Me really didn't become a hit until long after the album came out, so I'm certain that Love Me Now could have that same effect. The next song is What You Do to Me. Imagine a calm album from John Legend, and then he just throws in this radical, more electric vibe type of record. It's like in the middle of the album, he just ramps up everything 100 times. So that's why What You Do to Me became an instant favorite. It stands out. There's so much energy in this record. The last record I wanted to highlight was Same Old Story. This falls under the darkness category. John Legend writes and sings about a relationship that is seemingly over. He knows it's over. And deep down, she knows it's over too, but she's lying and trying to act like it's not. In the depth of his mind, he kind of doesn't want it to be over either. He feels like the situation, if he just holds out a little bit, everything will work itself out. He says, although we may stay together, down in your heart you know better. You picture all the ways you'll move on. So he is fully aware that this woman wants to move on, wants to leave him and everything, but he kind of just wants to hold on. I don't think he's ready to let go of this relationship. While this song is in my favorites, I have to also include it partly in the bad category. There's a part midway through where John throws on this overbearing autotune voice that really destroys the soul of his voice. I don't know why this part is included in the song. It is a mood killer. Right before this auto-tune comes on, it has like this little bridge where it's just a violin portion, and it is beautiful. If you ever watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you might have seen the episode where Uncle Phil is playing his favorite music for the family, and Jazz is over. And so he tells Jazz, Will tells Jazz to crank it up. Instead of doing that, he goes and scratches it, starts scratching the record, and Uncle Phil is immediately drawn out of his little bit of happiness. That is how I feel listening to that part of the song. And again, it's a small part. I still love the song, but it's a small part that I had to include in the bad category. Trying to find a bad song on a John Legend album is very rare. You might not like a song as much as another, but the only bad song on this album that I could find is due to a personal preference. It's Overload featuring Miguel. I have never been a Miguel fan, so when I saw he was on the album, I really wasn't thrilled for the song. I was hoping for the best, but it's not a bad record. It's just a personal preference. I can't get into Miguel's music. And in reality, this record, Overload, sounds more like something Miguel would do than John Legend. In the beginning, you have this simplistic, I believe it's a harp. It sounds like it's a harp, like the strings of it. John is singing. And then when the beat really comes into its own, it sounds something like what Miguel would do on his album. I don't envision this song being on Darkness and Light if Miguel wasn't a part of it. So I can give it props for sort of blending their two sounds together, because that is what you would call a true collaboration. There is potential for this song to grow on me, but as of right now, it's just not one of my favorites. John Legend might never top Love in the Future. I think with timing and everything that album meant for me, it will be hard. So I didn't go into Darkness and Light anticipating a better album. I instead went in with a clean slate and was just hoping for a quality album from John Legend. And I got that. I love the album for what it is. There's love, there's dedications to his wife and a newborn daughter, and a little bit of pain. He really does capture the title perfectly, Darkness and Light. There's portions of both of that, whether it's being in love or going through a breakup. So simply put, John Legend did it again. Those are my thoughts on his fifth album titled Darkness and Light. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below, and then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter at Sermons Domain, and as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.